I don't know, this weird thing, and this has happened to me with other laptops. I'll set my phone on the corner of my laptop and the laptop will shut off, like it'll go to sleep. Alright y'all, we'll get started here in a second. What's up, Crawfish? I don't know what it is, and I'm pretty sure. So I'm on a Razer right now, and I used to have an old like 2011 MacBook, and I don't know what it is, but if I set my phone on like the corner of the keyboard of the laptop, my laptop goes to sleep. And I'm like, is it the magnetic? Something to do with the magnetic piece of the case that I have? Is it just some sweet spot on the laptop? I don't know, but now I'm interested in looking that up. Are there any sensors in that spot? Maybe it has to be something, right? I'm gonna look that up for next time. Okay, y'all, we're gonna get started here in a second. I've just been listening to like Vietnamese music lately, so I'll tag this artist later. I decided when it comes to these streams, I'm just gonna play like my top track or top couple of tracks of the week, and I've been having this song on repeat. So we're gonna let this play a little bit more, and then we'll get started, y'all. Okay. Alright y'all, let's go ahead and get started. I know I started a little bit late. My apologies on that. Let me check my audio real quick though. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, let's get started. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. So I kind of wanted to open this with a sense of urgency. I feel like that has really been the theme for me during this bear market. It's just moving with a sense of urgency, accumulating with a sense of urgency. And so I thought this was neat. This person actually responded to a Twitter thread with this article, and then I looked it up, and it's a neat little article that this person has. Let me go back up here to give credit. Jesse Myers, Bitcoin, this is the moment you've been waiting for it, and indeed it has, right? So a lot of good information plainly explained in here about the halving, however you want to say it. A lot of good information in here, but I just wanted to focus on this chart because to me it says a lot right here in this image, right? This is where we are. You are here. Bitcoin's price may never be this low again. Let's read that one more time, because I know in a previous stream, and I've seen on Twitter, people are like, I feel like I missed my opportunity to get Bitcoin. I missed my opportunity below 20K, da da. And I get it, right? I know we all want a lower Bitcoin price to accumulate. I would love it if we got back down to 20K at minimum. That would be fantastic. I would be overjoyed with that. But at the end of the day, it's still a bargain, right? It's still on sale. And the time to accumulate is now, right? So I just want to read a little bit of this. Nothing is completely certain, but if my understanding of this asset is correct, right now is the window in time immediately after the 4-year cycle bottom, which means several big things. The bottom is in. The psychology of fear has subsided. So that's an interesting one, right? I think most people believe that the bottom is in. I didn't until recently when we saw the run up to 28K. I thought that we were going to go below 15. I mean, anything can, I think it's important to always remind ourselves that anything can happen in this space. A black swan event could come out of nowhere. You know, who knows what could happen that could make the Bitcoin price plummet for a short period of time. But I know that my mind has changed on this a little bit. It is a little bit more believable for me to think that the bottom is in, but I mean, who knows, right? We are still below the supply demand, quote, price equilibrium that Bitcoin will gravitate towards. So if we go up here, he has a dash line here indicating the, quote, price equilibrium within the bear market, right? Up into the halvening, right? And so he's saying that we're still a little bit below that equilibrium. It's possible we're already above it, but in my opinion, more likely than not, that we are still below this cycle's price equilibrium. The current Bitcoin price is lower than you, quote, should ever see again. Of course, when you layer the short time frame price noise on top of the signal, it's anyone's bet whether that remains true. So again, as you can see, the low of the previous bear market was 3.2 and the previous before that 200, and we have never seen those prices again. Right? So it's interesting to think that we could never see a 15K Bitcoin again. That's kind of wild, right? I remember buying at 3.2K and thinking that was still high, right? Now look where we're at, right? If the above is correct, Bitcoin's price could settle somewhere in the 30 to 45K range over the next year. Nothing super exciting, but still substantially higher than where the price is today. And then unceremoniously and unapologetically, the spring 2024 halvening will arrive in just over a year. In the months that follow, the price will do the only thing it can when there's more demand than supply, and the whole speculative bubble process will play out again. I think it's likely that we will see 100K, $100,000 Bitcoin, quite possibly even a $200,000 Bitcoin within the next 2 years. 2 years is nothing. Okay. 2024 practically here. 2024 is around the corner, y'all. It's less than a year from now, right? So again, just wanted to call this out. It's always good to see some imagery to this to really put things into perspective. Time is ticking. Move with a sense of urgency. The halving is almost here, right? Let's move forward. And when y'all drop in, hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you. Okay, so let me know in the chat what y'all think about the halving, however you want to say it. Let me know what y'all think about this. All right, let's move forward. This is another thing that I thought was encouraging. I don't know. I just got pumped seeing this. Dear fellow Bitcoiners, with great pleasure, let me introduce to you, quote, the people's ranking. Do you find yourself here? There's no reason why everybody, I mean, a shrimp, one sat, 100 sats, that's easy, right? And as somebody said down here, you could become a shrimp just by spinning on the Fold app, right? There's just so many ways to accumulate sats and really not even buy them, right? So there's really no excuse to not be a shrimp, not be a crab, right? Honestly, not be an octopus, right? I mean, this is extremely attainable. And what I find interesting is that a whale is 10 million to 100 million sats. 10 million sats, y'all, that's still attainable, is it not? And maybe that's just me talking. But Blue Whale won Bitcoin, and someone else had posted another chart. I thought this was interesting. Saying the whole shrimp to whale, humpback shark, that's fiat food chain. And so I thought this was refreshing. The smartest creatures. So Bitcoin holders ranked, showing the smartest creatures in the sea, I believe here. So I think that's refreshing. I'm down for that. But yeah, y'all, like, again, last week we covered where someone posted that there's only 1 million addresses in the world with over 1 BTC in the wallet, right? Which is nothing. 1 million addresses is not, like, that's super encouraging. And then to see something like this, again, to put into perspective, like, it doesn't take much, right? And of course, it kind of makes me think about people saying all you need is zero point 0.2 Bitcoin to be the wealthiest, to be in the 1%. And then, people pulling numbers like that. But I mean, just keep stacking these sats. Just keep stacking these sats. Let's move forward. Is that 0.1 BTC correct? Because 10 times 10, 100 million. Yes, that would be 0.1 BTC, 10 million sats. Where we at? Okay. McShane here. If you're a Mac, there's a copy of the Bitcoin white paper hidden on your... If you're a Mac, is that what I just said? If you're on a Mac, there's a copy of the Bitcoin white paper hidden on your device. Type this into terminal. I did this the other day. It's true. It works. And I think I saw some information going around Twitter. Any Mac after 2018 has a copy of the Bitcoin white paper on the system. It's already on the system, right? So that's super fun. And of course, again, it's just like Bitcoiners, man. Like, what? Like, who does that? Who does that except a Bitcoiner, right? Like, secretly hide a copy of the Bitcoin white paper. And it's labeled as simple doc on Mac. So highly encourage you to go through your system and find the hidden Bitcoin white paper. It is there. Like I said, I did it myself. It's, man. And then I thought this was fun. If you're on a Mac, there's a copy of the Ethereum white paper hidden on your device. Enter the terminal by pressing Command plus spacebar. Once in the terminal, type open.trash. Oh man. Oh man. Crawfish seems super low for whale status. And I hear you on that. I think, yeah, because someone else commented in here, there should be, something for people who have 10 Bitcoin, people who have 100, people who have 1,000 Bitcoin. Like, where is that on here? But I love this, right? Because this is super attainable, right? And again, if you think about it, and I don't know the math on hand, but Bitcoin BTC at $1 million per coin. BTC, the very maximalist idea of Bitcoin going to infinity, right? I mean, 10 million sats, it's going to be a lot of sats, right? If $1, what isn't it what, when BTC equals $10 million per coin, one sat equals $1? Is that correct? Someone fact check me on that. But again, who cares about pricing in fiat, whatever, right? But 10 million sats is a lot of sats, you know? Of course, one Bitcoin is like the holy grail, right? If you can just get one Bitcoin. So yeah, it definitely does seem like, what did you say? That seems super low for well status. Yes, of course there are big, whales out here with 1,000 Bitcoin, with 10,000 Bitcoin, like the super OGs, the you know what I mean, who accumulated that much. But at the end of the day, this is really kind of like all you need in a sense, right? This should be your goal. A goal shouldn't be 10 for the everyday person. The goal should not be 10 Bitcoin. If you can get there, awesome. But if we can just get people to 10 million sats, if we can get people to 100,000 sats, to 1 million sats, right? If we can get people to 1 Bitcoin, bro, right? So I personally love this. I love how this is set up. Haha, got them. Would have to be 100 million per Bitcoin since there is 100 million sats. Oh. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's math for you. That's why I didn't go to a regular university. So I didn't have to take any more math classes. All right, moving forward. And then apparently, I didn't fact check this or look deeper into this, but apparently Craig Wright accused Apple of breaching copyright by including the Bitcoin white paper on every MacBook. Even if this isn't true, it's definitely something that I would expect for Craig Wright to say. Okay, let's move forward, because I saw this and I'm like, how does this keep happening? So here it says a project on ZK Sync raised 921 ETH, $1.7 million in a token sale, but funds are stuck forever in the smart contract. The transfer function works on Ethereum and other EVM chains, but not on ZK Sync. I'm not understanding how this, like, how and of course we know a former example of this was with the Akutar's mint, and millions upon millions of dollars being locked in that smart contract. And it's just like, how does this keep happening? Like, what happened? Like, how did they not test this? I don't know, y'all. So hopefully whoever this is can figure it out, because that's, really a tragedy for $1.7 million to just be stuck. somewhere in a smart contract. Absolute devastating, I'm sure, for that project. Let's move forward. So this is what I really wanted to focus on tonight, because I just came across this and I'm like, here we go again. Like, what is this? What does this mean? What does all this language mean? I'm gonna read through this thread, y'all, but I had to read through this a couple times and I still don't quite understand what this is. So let me know if you've looked into Bitcoin stamps, know anything about it, drop it in the chat. Okay, so Trust Machines here. There's a new protocol in town, Bitcoin stamps. They're a new way of storing images directly on Bitcoin, but they're very different from ordinals. Here's why their transactions look like this. Bitcoin stamps created by Mike in Space are a new way of storing images directly on the Bitcoin network natively. Bitcoin stamps split up an image into a bunch of tiny pieces, spread it across many UTXOs, and reconstruct them on the other end. It's a bit like this. And this video plays here. And quite frankly, even with the imagery, I still don't understand what this means. Bitcoin stamps use a few existing technologies, mainly counterparty, to work. And so I need to look into this, y'all. Like, how. Let me tell you, you just continue to be humbled in this space. So there's counterparty. Counterparty was first introduced in 2014 as a protocol built on top of Bitcoin, where Pepe's, regarded as the first NFT collection before the term NFT even existed, were powered by Counterparty. So I don't know why Counterparty sounds new to me. Surely, after talking about Bitcoin and NFTs for so long, I would have encountered this, but I don't know. Tonight, it just seemed super new to me for some reason. Creating a Bitcoin stamp is relatively easy. You first have to take your image and convert it into text, specifically base 64. As an example, here's our logo encoded in base 64. We take this encoded text, add the word stamp in front of it, and broadcast it to the Bitcoin network using the counterparty protocol, which splits the text into multiple parts. Each part is given a unique number so that it can be properly decoded or put back together. Counterparty uses a transaction type known as P2SH or pay to script hash. Pay to script hash is a way to securely send BTC by paying to an address linked to a script, such as a multi-sig wallet. This provides extra security as it requires multiple signatures in order to send funds. Using this method, each of these parts become a multi-sig UTXO output. That is why Bitcoin stamps transactions look the way they do. Every full Bitcoin node has no choice but to store Bitcoin stamps as part of the network. Because Bitcoin stamps are made up of simple UTXOs, they are not prunable in the same way that op, return, or witness data is. They're basically impossible to filter out. To create a Bitcoin stamp, stampers have to pay fees just like any Bitcoin transaction. Byte for byte is actually more expensive to create a Bitcoin stamp compared to ordinals. Ordinals utilize witness data to store inscriptions, which natively receives a fee discount. What? let's move forward because I'm struggling to understand. Now, they do have a space on this on Monday where they talk about stamps versus ordinals. I'm going to try my best to listen in on that because it's not making sense to me. So if I remember correctly, right, ordinals is on the SAT, right? It is stored on the Satoshi, right? And this is, I don't like what? Right? This is where my mind, I just don't understand the technical aspect of this. Given the much higher cost, Bitcoin stamps recommend an image size of 24 by 24 pixel with 8-bit color depth of PNG or GIF, similar to CryptoPunks, but constraint brings creativity, right? And we're going to talk about these punk stamps here in a second. Make sure to follow us to learn more about Bitcoin economy. And if you learned something in this thread, please share. So I want to go down to here because I thought this was a good response here. You are vandals and morons, and this idiotic use of block space will be priced out just like Satoshi dice. And so here, Trust Machines responds, we're just reporting the facts. Ultimately, yes, the market will be the deciding factor in which of these protocols sticks around, and we may see a new fee market later down the road that moves a lot of this activity to Bitcoin layers, which we're very focused on. Yeah, those Bitcoin layers. Okay, so, and let's go back down here. Ordinals versus Bitcoin stamps. Yeah, I'm going to try to listen in on this Monday, April 10th, 1 p.m. Because, yeah, it's not making sense to me. I'm going to need someone to explain that to me like a kindergartner. And so if we move forward here, what's a Bitcoin stamp? How to mint, how to buy, how to sell. I've been pinged enough that it's time for a quick thread to get into the details. High-level Bitcoin stamps are the most permanent NFTs in the world. Okay. So I thought that was ordinals, but now we're saying Bitcoin stamps, right? Okay. Stamps are a protocol created by Mike and Space which stores NFTs directly on Bitcoin. Stamps have two key features. Unprunable. Stamps are very difficult to remove from Bitcoin. 2. Stamps can be issued one of ones or one of many. Example, a series. So, if I'm understanding this right, ordinals uses witness data. And stamps utilizes spendable outputs. Okay. What makes stamps permanent? Question mark. Because the image data is stored 100% on the Bitcoin blockchain. As long as Bitcoin exists, so will Bitcoin stamps. This is an excellent thread. Okay. There's more information in this thread. I'm just sitting here. I'm just trying to work it out in my mind. I'll leave links to these threads. I'm going to have to really sit down and do a deep dive into this. um, so if we go over here to rarestamp.xyz, this is where you can sort of view. It's a marketplace for permanent Bitcoin stamps. And so here we see these punks, and this is Mike and Space who developed this. And I guess also created the 10,000 stamp punks, which have minted out. Okay. And I mean, just looking here, I mean, people are trying to sell this for 7 Bitcoin, 21 Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm just not really, I'm not familiar with this, y'all. I just feel like, is it just me or is it just always something? It's just, we got ordinals, now we got stamps. Like, what is going on? 5 Bitcoin. And I think these were selling for less than $1,000. I think I saw somewhere. Discord for Telegram is still superior stamps, really pushing newcomers into XCP. And so XCP is the counterparty token. XCP is a native currency of counterparty used for advanced features and representing stake in the protocol. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And apparently you can verify these Bitcoin stamps on OpenSea. Like, what? Oh, y'all. And so, and then again, I'm just kind of like working this out in my head with y'all on the stream. I still need to do a deep dive in this, but then I haven't heard of Emblem Vault before until now, but apparently through the use of Emblem Vault, you can, like, what? So the whole thing with Emblem Vault, trade your NFTs from Bitcoin, Namecoin, and more than 20 other blockchains across marketplaces. Why haven't I heard of this? Okay, trade your native assets across multiple blockchains inside of one vault. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, y'all. So, yeah. And that's really all I have for y'all tonight. Crawfish. I feel like they are. I feel like they are ri- r- trying. I feel like they are trying to brand something, but I don't fully understand it.